Resume.
And I'm talking to him on a walkie-talkie to say, get ready, I'm coming by to pick you up. So this starts out in San Anselmo, California, where I live and Matt lives. George Lucas lives there. In fact, we're about a block away from Indiana Jones' house in Raiders of the Lost Ark at this point, passing that street there on Center Boulevard. But just to let you know that we're ordinary folk, and we go to work like everybody else. This is where Matt used to live.
Yes, I remember that house.
And we were at this point carbon citizens. Yeah. And this is before cell phone communication.
Actually, must have gone gray overnight.
Yeah, Matt worked.
When was this?
This is the 2000.
Episode 2, we're beyond Attack of the Clones, which will be out in 3D in theaters at some point soon.
So now many of you look at that young kid.
Fresh face.
So we drive about 20 miles out into the rural parts of Marin, and here we are at the entrance near Skywalker Ranch. There's the technical building where we work in the fog now this is not a typical place where sound editors or editors work. It's a wonderful facility. There's a lake with a raft. Yeah, we're really spoiled here. And often you come out this time of the year, there's fog banks as they lift, and there's beautiful infestation of turkeys they're doing something out there. I don't know. They attack at one time during the year. I don't know if you got attacked
the cars.
They chase cars. And there's this is the tech building it's built to look like an old winery, and it's in fact surrounded with a vineyard, which is they harvest every year. I think they take the grapes to Coppola's facility up in Napa. But we've seen this many times. There's 2 ranches. This is Skywalker Ranch. Next to it is Big Rock Ranch, where all the animation is housed.
Saloni and his crew are.
But going into the parking garage, which we've done thousands of times, and you'll see
parking garage used for many a recording for large reverberant spaces.
Yeah, they're really good.
Final mix.
Guns and caves.
In perfect sync, our crew arrived at Skywalker. This is the Wild Planet. Mission Impossible. You name it.
We're all halfway.
Yeah,
nobody's enthusiastic about this.
1.5 people totally awake. Nobody's really walking with much alacrity.
They say this building, built 1987, was made to look like a winery from 100 years ago. So it has sort of remodeled sections and areas that look like your outdoor atriums that have been since picked over.
I'm not sure.
Secret papers or something. And we go past Clint Eastwood. These are George's posters, apparently. You go past Clint Eastwood, and you turn right at Greta Garbo. Okay, you kind of go past James Bond next, and then into the room. So this is the room where Matt and I were housed during all the prequels. It's now the Clone Wars room.
Yeah, this is where we do Clone Wars. And we had to lock those doors, and I think the only people in the entire ranch that had the key was Ben and I for the prequels. Funny. I don't think George would even get the room. The room's fully made.
We used to leave the FM radio on to bathe in classical music over the weekend, so when it came in on Monday morning, it was all tranquil. Because we were going to punctuate the air with lasers and other distorted sounds. Matt always carries every cable with him, every adapter, there it is, like that. And that's just a small. We usually take about 4 loads of that spaghetti.
Yeah, oh my God.
And out of there. So then we settled down. We'll get going a little bit soon. So that was my workstation for those of us making the sounds for the prequels. It's a separate room for where I do the picture editing, but this is where we come to make the sounds. Now here's our new invisible, mixing console, very high tech. Tom Myers, Chris Scarboso, and Matt showing how the automation works in our new theater. You remember this?
Yes, we had new technology put in there that was revolutionary. So Ketch's been showing up videos. It's too revolutionary.
So we go down in the basement, and Denny Thorpe and Jana Vance are down there doing Foley in the Foley pits. Now, those of you that know this is where sound effects are performed while watching the picture. And they're doing some sounds for battle droids here.
Isn't that the part where all the stuff is shaking in the base? Is this episode 3?
Episode 3, yeah. Episode 3.
When Vader's like freaking out at the end after Padme, all the gear that's shaking.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly it. Starting to break things loose. But Denny and and Jana have done this now for all the prequels.
Nothing is in the ground.
And this is the fully mixing booth, the control room, looking in on a window at them working, making the recording the track. So this is a specialty, this kind of Foley work. He's handling the plot. Things people handle, often things that you want to time and perform to be expressive. Now upstairs, Matt does what he does with dialogue. And yeah, right. Now we were doing screens for something here.
I can't remember. I wish I remember what this was. Yeah, we were all pull in a lot of players.
Oh, we were just doing.
Yeah, we were doing those Jedi's Palpatine's office.
Kit Fisto and all those.
Yes.
Steve Slammer.
Yeah.
This call has disturbed my rest. You will suffer for this outrage.
So I sent a few grievous lines there.
I don't even remember.
This call has disturbed my rest. You will suffer for this outrage.
This is his real voice.
Yeah.
This voice match using now is our official voice. Yes, typically. And so meanwhile, the mixers are downstairs. Andy Nelson, Chris, and Tom. Now they've got a board in front of them.
Yeah.
It's unfair.
Yeah. Actually mixing.
How can you be on the council
Pre-mix
and not be
on the
master?
final mix.
Every single slice of that console represents one sound in the movie. It could be an instrument, it could be like a footstep, it could be a line of dialogue, it could be an explosion, and they change.
Now, I go from room to room doing my daily chores, listening to what people are cutting and consulting. So I ride on a scooter. That's good. So this is a highly dangerous speeder bike type of experience that I enjoy. Skidding around corners.
You might hear that in Attack of the Clones for the wheel on the waitress droid. We had sound effect.
This way. Now we had, this particular day, we had an unusual guest in the building. Tony Daniels showed up, who had never been visiting us before after all these years. I was showing him the old synthesizer I used to create R2's voice. Let me turn it up just a little. The old Mark 2600.
Shall I rescue?
But Anthony had never come to see exactly what we
Where
did.
R2 was born.
It was lots of different. That's the old. They combined my voice with the synthesizer tones to come up with the R2 dialogue. And we decided to play a joke.
Okay, we're going to play a joke on Terry by, well, we're going to put some pressure on her that she's not doing very well with the robot motors. Then we're going to bring in an expert to help her, so she needs.
We're going to go up to Terry Ekman's room, who cuts all the droid motors.
Every single little movement of the droid's head, arm.
Yeah. She's very sensitive about her work.
Hi, Terry.
Hi,
Good morning. I thought I'd come by for a review. I was looking at some of the stuff you did. They gave to Tom, and the robot motors. I think was very good.
Really?
Yeah, you're the expert, but I don't think you're doing very well in it. So I've decided we're going to get somebody to help. Okay? So you just said the time has come. You need some help.
Cry.
So
I thought I would just show you how the real...
started to tear up.
Yeah, it was a cool joke. I felt that later. But Terry's done a fantastic job. And so here she was showing Anthony Daniels just how she syncs up all the motions of his arms and legs with motors.
Hey, but that's the most important thing.
Yeah, I mean, it is. No, it's this R2. It's the ripple is R2.
These are old Cadillac motors, window motors, and antenna motors for R2. And since video, most of his motors are the window on an old Cadillac Eldorado, sort of 1969. Motor up and down.
Now, Tony, if you start wanting to edit your performance, I don't know. This is. I think maybe it. You know. But you're welcome. And this has been part of it.
It's very meticulous work. This is what editors will be doing. They'll be focusing on one element in the overall soundtrack. It might be lasers, it might be swords, and really working frame by frame to cut and match.
Yeah, there's head. What is it, Terry? There's head, there's torso,
pressure on C-3PO watching you.
Yeah.
Work on it.
Yeah. Terry
It's just the walking the...
Right, you're
also
walking
cuts Chewie's voice. She started
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And the fine turkeys came up on the roof. And I don't know why I was obsessed with this, but we wondered what they were doing. And there it goes. There we go. Oh, turkeys. Wow, I don't know why. It's a turkey movie. I don't know. But anyhow.
Attack of the Turkeys.
Attack of the Turkeys, yeah. I don't know what was going on. So that's part of our day at Skywalker.
That's good.